will cater for this. That is why for decades, governments after governments imposed and maintained tolls on some public roads to raise funds for road construction and maintenance. This is the situation in many countries. However, over the years, the tolling point and impacted negatively on productivity. The congestion generated at the tolling points, besides creating these inconveniences, also leads to pollution in and around the vicinities. To address
the directive from the Roads Ministry, and also as contained in the Summer Motorway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the toll booths, all of them are empty. The only people we can see here is the Ghana Police Service, armed police officers, 2 of them, signaling motorists to continue with their journey, to move and not to stop. Let's speak to some of the sellers who have been cashing in on the congestion that is created here as a result of the toll booth. Let's speak to them. Many of them are telling me that their source of livelihood now is gone because this toll booth is no longer going to function. And that is what we saw when we visited the Wager toll booth also. Hello. Yeah, Francis.
But your friend is Juliana.
Oh, Juliana.
Me pachai.
Okay. Yeah, Bano, Behonsana. Buku came say Yambrana and Numunkasa and Numunkasa. I didn't.
I hear Yanni a year, Juma didi. I hear Yanni a year, Juma de Shayemba. Yenny made you my beer, one may more ever quiet. Yenny made you maybe a one may more ever day. Yabaka quiet.
I didn't know.
Me pachon Kosiana Manu, you almost a woman means him. Meaning the young quiet, a young cobble chronos, a young cobble. But to your master, I'm about to say young quiet day. Okay, well. Basically, what she's saying is that now that they've stopped collecting the toll, what do they want them to do?
So I am sure that you have probably used this stretch for several times. I mean, but you know the traffic situation here. We'll be delving into that. But I am currently standing 22 meters above ground. If my viewers don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I want you to look to my right. You would appreciate the length or the height at which we are standing. So we're actually standing on the tier 4 of this project, which is supposed to connect Awoshi to Kwabenya. So what you see are vehicles moving in and out from Accra towards Kumasi, and also from Kumasi towards Accra. And I must say that the project is steadily moving, but I don't want to take the information out of the lips of the residence engineer. Almost every article I have read about this project has been attributed to one Mr. Bimpon, who is the residence engineer. I would want to engage him briefly and find out, all the questions that people have always wanted to ask about this project. Today we have the opportunity to do so. Thank you very much for your time. So how are you doing?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
And you are doing very well. And how is the project also doing?
Well, the project is also doing very well, despite the challenges that we have. We are striding on and working day and night to ensure that we are able to deliver this project to the good people of the country.
I know that this project was supposed to complete somewhere this year. The timeline, the original timeline. You have had to do some redesigns from tier 3 to tier 4, some expansions, some drains, and all of that. I want you to tell me the journey for you and how it has been.
Well, thank you. As you rightly said, this project is expected to be completed by October, which is barely 2 to 3 months from now. And our plan is to be able to complete at least all the ramps. And when I talk about ramps, the first 3 tiers. We are currently on the 4th tier, which is the one from Awoshi or Lebu to Kwabenya. And that might take a little bit of time because of some challenges which are technical. But then for the rest of the ramps, our plan is to try and finish them before the end of the year.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the challenges, but I want you to show me all these, what we have so far. So you said we are standing on this structure.
Okay, so the project, maybe just to give you the scope of the project involves the construction of the Awoshi to Pokuase all the way to the ACP Estate Junction. And from Okay, let's look from here. So here we are facing Kwabenya. So this is also a dual carriageway and ends in a single carriageway. Then so let's go to the other side. Please, you watch your steps. Watch that.
Yeah. Okay. So
we are heading towards the Olebu or the Awoshi session.
Okay.
Now, watch that. So this session goes all the way to meet the old construction, the previous construction that was done also by the Department of Urban Roads. And that is almost 5 kilometers from here. From this end to the other side is about 1.7 kilometers. So that is for the Awoshi to the Kwabenya end. Then we are also doing 2.24 kilometers of the Accra-Kumasi Road.
Into their own bank accounts, but we've been told that is not the case. So this e-payment, as it's now called, was announced by Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, when he presented the 2022 budget in Parliament on Wednesday. Now, he said revenue from these levies will be used to tackle youth employment, cyber security, public transport, entrepreneurship, plus digital and road infrastructure. This has not gone down well for the minority in Parliament who are kicking against this e-levy. It's also not gone down well with some economists and some tax experts. And of course, the Fix the Country activists or movement, they are also not happy about it, and they intend to go on a demonstration on this issue on the 26th of this month. But as Ghanaians, we often ask and yearn to see development, yet many of us have challenges as we are reluctant in paying taxes. This e-levy is estimated to give us a projected revenue of some 6.9 billion cedis to be used for development. So why are we not for it? If we're going to drive on better roads and we'll not be visiting the mechanic shop and to be buying, lower arms and absorbers and ball joints and all that, why shouldn't we be in support of this? That's the question we're asking you. We are live on Facebook right now. It's on LUV 99.5. Please like our page, share, and also drop comments. We'd like to read from you. Why are we so eager and we yearn to have development, yet when it comes to paying taxes, we are very uncomfortable or we feel reluctant to do so? That's our conversation for this morning. You can also send us your voice notes to 055-1111-995. 055-1111-995. Send us your voice notes and let's share them with the rest of the world. I've got Eugene or say to with me in the Studios of Love 99.5. I call him UJ. Good morning.
David, good morning.
And we are started planning towards his birthday. His birthday is on Saturday. His birthday is on Saturday, the 27th of November.
Yes.
So happy birthday to you in advance, my brother.
Thank you, David.
And we're going to have a big party thrown. But so what do you have for us this morning? We're talking about the e-levy and what its intended purpose is. And of course, why many Ghanaians want to see development. I mean, we're told that we'll be using some 1.7 billion for road construction next year. So why are we not excited if we're going to pay the e-levy and get to drive on better roads? What do you have for us this morning?
So, David, as we said, when the budget was read last Wednesday, the finance minister did indicate the road levy and the intention of government to, tax or levy some, online transactions. And there's been a lot of counter proposals, thought and all that. David, last Saturday I had the benefit to listen to Newsfile and also listen to the deputy finance minister and also the MP for Edgeso John Kuma. And personally, I also did some research, and I think that I also used this platform to call on the ministry. They said that there was a research they did that made them bet this thinking of 1.75. They should release it to some of us.
They said they spoke to 10,000.
Yes, to peruse the documents and see the kind of questions that they ask. Again, I read the literature from the East African countries. Yes, there have been some e-levies when you go to Mauritius, Tanzania, and Kenya, where they started the M-Pesa, what we call mobile money in the air. Ghana learnt that system from them. And David, there's been some, retractions and gradual acceptance of the reality that when you tax some of these things, the transactions go down. Let me also start by saying that in October alone, October 2021, we had a mobile money transaction of 103 billion Ghana cedis. David, that is almost 20% of our entire GDP. In October alone, 103 billion cedis. And it tells you how huge people are moving to some of these platforms. And I've already told you that it's easy because it facilitates trade and commerce. Now I don't need to go to Accra to purchase whatever. I can just buy, send mobile money, VIP or wherever, will bring it to Kumasi, and I also pay them by mobile money, and they can even deliver it to Love FM. You get it. So it's facilitating trade and commerce. Now, David, let me move quickly. When you read the usage of the e-levy, they say that it's going to be used for roads and also create employment and entrepreneurial ecosystem for the youth in this country, because as you know, the bulge of our youth are unemployed, and when it comes to employment, it's very critical. From the likes of President Akuetteh, they've described as a national security threat. So I'm tackling roads and employment. Now when it comes to Kumasi, in the budget we were promised some say 5, some say 3, and David always said that when communicating in policy, you need to be clear. The minister said number 5, but when you go through the budget, the items listed, they were 3. So I've always said that I'm conflicted as a researcher what to use, but let's even give it to them that 5. We have Swami, Oferukrum, Santasi, and also the airport runabout. These are some of the ones I know. We all know that Kumasi serves as a linking point for most of the landlocked countries that, you know, retrieve their goods from our main port, Takoradi and Tema, Benin and the likes, which are landlocked countries and do not have sea. So it means that Kumasi has a lot of heavy trucks plying its roads, and we need some of these interchanges to be able to ease traffic, reduce the number of accidents here. Let me also state that Kumasi leads when it comes to road carnages in Ghana. So it means that when we're able to ease traffic and all that, there will be a lot of expansion on our roads, and possibly we can also reduce the number of carnages on our roads. Again, David, they say roads are the arteries of towns and countries. When you go to the human blood, we have arteries which connect our blood to our various points and all that. These are what road does. It's connected to various access points of the cities. And when it comes to Kumasi, it's historic for several reasons. We have major tourism sites. For example, when you connect from Atunsu to Kuntinas, you are going to Lake Bosomtwe. David, we all know how critical Lake is. People will say that there's no chilling point in Kumasi. David, will you use this Atunsu road to Bosomtwe and go and chill and come back? You even return with joint pains. So most people are not using the road. It's not creating employment for people. Most people who've invested in the hotels and, you know, eateries along that section of the road are not recouping their investment. And for me, if you complete such roads, and be able to create employment for people. Erastus has also reported the incident of a young girl who died on that road, the Feyasi road, who was going to school and had an asthmatic attack. So it tells you that when some of these roads are not done, there are a lot of adverse effects on the people. Now, David, when you come to the home of Kente Bonre, and for me, I don't even know why anybody decided to make Kwabri a municipal, because it does not even have close to even 20 kilometers of passable roads in that municipality.
All right, so just hold on for me. I'd like to direct on traffic to our Facebook page right now. You can find us on LUV 99.5 FM. That's how you can find us on Facebook. Now, many of us would like to drive and use such quality roads. We've been able to put together a few roads that, you know, our money as taxpayers has been used to construct. Now, if more of such roads are constructed, it gives relief to many people. Join us on Facebook right now and see for yourself this beautiful stretch. I think this is the Pokasi Road or something. I'm hoping so. Yeah. But join us on Facebook and get to see things for yourself. If leaders will do some of these things, I don't think that Ghanaians will be complaining when it comes to the collection of taxes or levies and stuff like that. Join us on Facebook and get to see what we have been able to put together for you. And then drop comments as we ask that simple question as well. All right? As we ask that, so I think this is the Tema motorway. Yeah. This is the motorway. So go check it out. We have a couple of roads that we're showing you on Facebook right now.
I think this is the flower interchange that they are doing to connect people to Tama and also the Volta region.
Yeah. So check it out on Facebook. It's LUV 99.5. So if such promises will be honored, I don't think Ghanaians would complain, would they? We shall be showing the circle interchange when it was constructed and how is east traffic in that area and all. Stay with us on Facebook and drop some comments as well. Yes, sir. So you were talking about Bonre.
Yeah, David. So I'm giving you some key roles. I sit on Insure FM. I sit on Love FM. And David, the concerns we get mostly are coming from Kwabre. When you go to places like Eduma, people should forgive me, Edumakase, Antwa, Abra, Edumakase, Sakrawuno. And David, I was shocked. FF and To say don't. They all come from this enclave. We have Kenyasi, Meduma, Busore, Mamponting, and this is a place that gives the MPP 77,000 votes. When you check the Ghana Statistical Service, the demographic for the Ashanti region, when you take KMA out, because let's not forget KMA has 5 constituencies under it, Subin and the likes, mention of South and all that. The next populous constituency is Kwabi East, so I cannot fathom why such a huge constituency will have the most deplorable roads in Kumasi. It's amazing. Again, Mampontin, Eduma, whatever, Antwa, Ebra, Kenyasi, Meduma, Busore, David, these roads need to be fixed. Again, when you go to Oforikrom, and I'm listing the roads, so if the Deputy Finance Minister is listening, these are the areas they should focus. Oforikrom, Buadi, Akuetteh, Appear-do.
Other one.
It's sickening. David, let me finally end because I think that Mr. Nula even knows the roads better than me. But David, I will do a great disservice to the people of Manso if I do not mention them. Mamansie, their roads are not nice. Manson Kwanta, Manso Dubia, Datano, Agroyesum. All these roads are not and I don't have a single kilometer of quota. It's not proper. Now, David, when you check the Ghana Statistical Service General Report of 2021, you notice that the Ashanti region has some 5.4 million people. Accra overtook us for the first time in 51 years. Now, when you check the demography, you notice that between 15 and 64 years, is where we find the huge percentage of the working class. Most people who are ready to work, but maybe they do not have jobs. Now, when you check that demography, you notice they make up 61.4% of the entire population. Now, that gives you 3.3 million. So it tells you that almost the youthful chunk of the population, when you even deduct that from the 3.3 million, you are hovering around 1.7 to 2.1 million between 18 years and 40 years. That is 1.7 to 2.1 million. So it tells you that the chunk of the people in the region are not having jobs. And David, when you read the analysis of the Ghana Statistical Service, why the Ashanti region is not the most populous region, there are three key things that are happening: migration, and what do people migrate for? For better opportunities, greener pastures and all that, and also social infrastructure. So all these play into the fold. So I think that the e-levies, yes, if it's going to be channeled into road production, good for the Ashanti region. If it will also channel into employment, also good, because people will stay here and they also contribute their knowledges and technologies for the development of this region.
Well, thank you very much. Eugene Osetutu is his name, and he's our fact checker. And I have with me Nulav. Also, Nulava Samoa is with us in the studios of Love 99.5. We just want you to respond to this simple question for us, and we're showing you some roads that have been constructed in some parts of the country. Very, very high quality roads, very good roads that are easing traffic and bringing relief to many people. But again, when it comes to the issue of paying levies or taxes, majority of Ghanaians, or let me say many Ghanaians, are very reluctant and very uncomfortable to pay them. Question is, why do we want development and yet we are reluctant in paying taxes? Why is it so? Join us on Facebook, LUV 99.5 FM on Facebook, and share your thoughts with us. You can also send us your voice notes to 055 1111995 055 1111995. Let's hear from you. Nulav, good morning to you, by the way.
Good morning, David.
So the announcement of this 1.75% levy on electronic transactions has got many people opposing it, whilst others want it reduced, others want it scrapped entirely. What do you make of these comments, the thoughts, suggestions of well-meaning Ghanaians?
I think when there's any policy, everybody needs to express their opinions. And we have experts that can express proper opinion on those issues. So it's always better for people to discuss, have a proper discussion, get informed analysis done. Then the government can also make a decision out of that. I've heard several people, something that because of financial inclusion, and the mobile money is the most financially inclusive, and therefore those who do not have access to banks or the unbankable, they are using the mobile money more. So if you want to tax it, it means that you're going to tax the poor more, or the poor are going to bear the brunt. It makes sense to think that way. Others are also of the opinion that, well, the mobile money, and for that matter, electronic transactions arrived, and government need to make money out of there. But there has to be a gradual process. Instead of maybe starting from about 1.75, maybe 1% or 0.75 would do.
I've even had 0.5 from Theo Champong, yeah,
exactly,
on Newsfile.
And others are also saying that the threshold is too small. 100 cedis per day is too small. And you have a minister saying that if you can send 100 cedis a day, it means you are not poor. And I don't know where she got that logic from, that if you can send 100 cedis a day, you are not poor. I don't know how she's defining her poverty line. Anyway, so these are some of the discussions that are going on, and everyone is legitimate, because when a policy is coming, you have to look at what the impact will be. Whatever happens, of course, for every policy there will be gainers and losers. You cannot get everybody to be a gainer, but you want to look at the majority should be gaining. If the majority are worse off, then it's not a good policy. At least those who should be impacted negatively should be in the minority, should be very, very minimal. And even that, normally across something compensating variation, you need to find a way of compensating them so that those who are gaining will be able to compensate those who are losing to some extent, so that the damage is limited. So it's good discussion that we are having, and I'm hoping that Parliament in their deliberations will also take into consideration the views that are being expressed by the academics, the business community, the financial experts, and all the people that are expressing their opinions and they're offering their expert analysis. I think Parliament and government should take all these things on board in approving or disapproving the e-levy in particular. So I think that the discussion is good, and we are all getting to learn a lot of things. Just that there are also some conflicting information as to the applicability of this e-levy. So government need to come out properly, communicate clearly, let us know what is involved, what is not involved. If I do transfer from my bank to another bank, or to a customer in another bank, or from one of my bank account to another bank account, would I pay?
If it's your own bank accounts, what we've been told is that you will not pay. But if you're transferring money from your account to another person's account, then you'd be paying. But like you said, there's a bit of confusion, and so clarity is needed. We're still live on Facebook, and listen, go check out some projects that has been done in this country called Ghana. Some projects, and many of these projects are done with the taxpayers' money.
Yes.
Now, for the one that we're talking about currently, and I'm referring to the e-levy, what we've been told is that it's going to be used for youth employment, cyber security, public transport, entrepreneurship, digital and road infrastructure, amongst many others. Now, if we want such roads, and like we're showing on Facebook, and I still encourage my listeners to be there on Facebook, and to see these roads. We have different kinds of roads that have been, constructed in Ghana. And, when you drive on such roads, you'll not be having problems with your absorbers and your low arms, in fact, with your vehicle. So why is it that we want development, yet we are reluctant in paying levies and taxes? These are the areas we've been told that these monies, if generated, accrued, and we're expected to get some 6.9 billion Ghana cedis from it, we'll be using it for roads. Why are people not in support of it?
David, people are not in support because we have history. We have lived in the country for a very long time, and we have read history about from Nkrumah up to today, what the government has been doing when it comes to road and other developmental projects. We know what money has been collected for and what they have been used for. Almost all the revenue that are collected go into the consolidated fund. And for that reason, sometimes money is earmarked for a particular project, but it ends up nothing happening in that particular sector. So people are skeptical. Talking about road, for example, we are in Kumasi, so I'll be more concerned about the roads in Kumasi.
Well, I like this one. I like the aerial shot I'm seeing right now. And again, listeners, be there with us on Facebook and check out this aerial shot. It's nice, and there's no traffic on this stretch anymore. Years ago, it was heavy with traffic. This time around, look at this.
Yes. So government needs money to construct this kind of roads. But you and I are here in Kumasi, and for the past 4 or 3 budgets, we've always had interchanges to be constructed in Kumasi, and nothing happens. All right. So we look at the roads around Kumasi and then the surrounding peri-urban areas within Ashanti region, and you see the kind of roads that we drive on. If you go to Eastern region, particularly if you go to the Achim area, the Kwabin area, I went to funeral, there's a place, Krofufrum, that area, rural area. But if you look at the kind of roads that they have, if they are paying these levies, they will not complain. And that is where the roads minister come from. And then he was very arrogant, telling us that if we think that they are not doing roads, we are sleeping, we should wake up and catch up with them. And I said, when I went to his constituent, that is when I realized why he was saying what he was saying. Because all the taxes that we are paying, he was using it to develop the road in his constituency.
What about the Pokwase intent? I mean, you cannot conclude and say all of the taxes are being used to construct roads in his home region.
Because you cannot tell any road in his constituency that is not asphalted. You cannot see any road in his constituency.
So you think people are complaining because of lack of trust?
Yes, because nobody trusts the government. And you see, the money that is meant for particular project, they end up in people's pocket. We are all happy with the Pokwase interchange. We are happy with the circle, the Dubai. We are happy with the one they are doing at Tema. I mean, that is what we expect that our taxpayers' money will be used for. David, I pay taxes so that my roads can be fixed from Emena to Akuetteh. David, normally, before the road got this way, from Akuetteh to Tech, it took me less than 10 minutes. Now it takes me about 30 minutes. If I leave the house after 6:30, I have to be late wherever I'm going because the traffic from Emena, from African Child School, right the way to Akuetteh because of bad roads. So when I'm paying taxes, I'll be crying.
But isn't that before we're told that per the road toll levy, we're raking in some 78 or so million Ghana cedis. 78 million Ghana cedis vis-a-vis how much we intend to spend on roads in 2022, which is some hovering around 1.74 billion Ghana cedis. It doesn't come close to it, so you need to look for money elsewhere to construct roads. If you're not fortunate enough to get the money for the road construction, you will not get the roads fixed. Yes. This time around, per the e-levy that is being about to be introduced, we're going to rake in annually 6.9 billion.
Right.
And like I said, 6.9 billion, we want 1.74 billion for roads. We'll make the deductions and get this money to fix the road, so your Akuetteh road can be fixed for you. Other interchanges that we've heard about for several years would also be fixed for us.
Let's hope so. But David, because in Akan, there's adage in Akan, "Ahubi painti, abwas raje ne bano e ni atunchen." Because we've seen some before, the trust is no longer there. You see, sometimes you need to rake in the revenue to do the project, but you also need to reduce the waste in the system. If I pay levy on electronic transactions, people are going to struggle to pay. Let's take it for granted that Parliament will approve it. So from 1st January, people will pay.
It's supposed to be 1st February because of the calibrations that will be done and all that.
Now, when people have paid this money, the essence of paying this money are for development, for roads, for schools, for
the e-levy is for roads, entrepreneurship, cyber security.
What I mean is it goes into the consolidated fund.
True.
So they may end up using it for anything. In Ghana, there's nothing like specific money for a specific project. Once it goes to the consolidated fund, as and when money is needed for whichever sector, they dip their hands in and then use it. They cannot have money for roads and they say we need money to pay workers and they will not dip their hands into it. Now, so they need to reduce some of the waste. And one of the ways that I keep talking about, and you as well keep talking about, is the teacher trainee and nursing trainee allowances. This year, they have increased it to 507 million. It could build a lot of roads. It could do a lot of projects that will be self-financing or projects that can bring more profit than to pay teacher trainee allowance. Because it was political campaign promise, they find it difficult to take it out, even though it does not make economic sense. It's not productive. So for me, it's one of the wastes in the system. When this government came into power, after President Akuetteh was sworn in, he placed embargoes on buying of V8 and that there should be a pool of vehicles so that whoever is going anywhere can use. Within some 6 months, we didn't hear that the ban was lifted, but V8 have been bought left, right, and center. And all our monies are being used for things that were not intended.
How do we get the accountability we're looking for? We are people, and when some of these levies and taxes, are rolled out, we need to be able to tell our leaders, listen, account to us. For example, the sanitation and pollution tax. And listening to News File on Saturday, Theo Champong, was saying, Dr. Theo Champong was saying that, listen, we have not been told how much we got or what it was used for. You understand? So as a people, are we holding them accountable enough for them to be able to tell us how much we made, what it's been used for? For example, if we say we're going to rake in some 6.9 billion through this e-levy, We should be able to say that, listen, we're going to have town hall meetings. We're going to ask and engage with our leadership and get to find out from them how much we've gotten so far, what it's been used for, which areas has it been used for, so we can put them to strict proof.
Yes, as citizens, I think we need to do more and hold our government or our leaders accountable. And you see, sometimes I get disappointed in Parliament because Parliament is supposed to represent us, and they approve all the projects, all the levies, all the revenue appropriation, whatever. And they have parliamentary committee on assurance of projects that government intend to do this project, and we have to make sure that it is done. So they are supposed to follow up and give us feedback.
Go on the ground and see how much work has been done or is being done. And there are occasions where they even go to places, I remember not too long ago, they go to places where there's a health facility and were initially prevented from going to check out the work done.
So now it's up to us, the citizens, to take it upon ourselves that, listen, we are willing to pay money, and that money that we want to pay should be used for our development, for our benefit, not for the benefit of some individuals. And therefore, if we are not getting the project, let's stop being sycophants and support each other and hold the leaders accountable. Look, sometimes you want to do program and you think that you're going to hold people accountable, and people are somewhere insulting you and backstabbing you. When that happens, they see that the leaders see that, oh, they are even divided, and some are even supporting us even though we are not doing anything.
It happens on partisan,
lines.
Because this is my party in power. This is my party in power. This is my party in opposition. Even if it's good, I'll say it's bad if I'm in opposition. And if it's bad and we're in power, I'll say it's good. Yes. We are not putting Ghana first the way we ought to put Ghana first. Now, with all this conversation, Newlaf, we're hearing some people are of the view, and I read some article from Professor Ebu Texin, who is saying that for him, he believes that people will find other ways and means of doing transactions rather than using the electronic means. This will therefore mean that we're not going to rake in the amount that is projected for the e-levy. We're projecting some 6.9 billion. Now, if Ghanaians would say, okay, fine, I'm not going to pay this through mobile money, so the China Pasham had them for and people will continue doing such a thing, it means that we're not going to achieve the target, and therefore we'll not get the kind of things that we've been told or promised that this e-levy will be used for. How do we get the Ghanaian to say, listen, let's contribute our quota, but let's hold people accountable?
David, for me, I will preach for the accountability, that we should hold the government accountable. Because for the payment, I mean, it's conspiracy theories. People initially, when there's change, people try to find a way out of circumventing whatever they have to do. But eventually, if you think that whatever I have to do is urgent, I have to do it in such a way that I cannot bypass electronic transaction. If I even look at the cost involved, it may be transporting, going to the bank to withdraw money, the risk involved and all that, it makes sense for you to still go with electronic. So even if there will be a reduction, I don't think it will be that much. I don't see a lot of reduction because of the taxes, because of the levy. Because people will look at the convenience, people will look at the ease of doing the business, people will look at the ease of going about their transaction every day. So the monies will come in, but we have to make sure that we are holding the government accountable, that whatever money comes in, whether we are able to get the 6.5 billion or we are able to get less of that, whatever amount will come in, we have to make sure that someone somewhere is being held accountable, so that the monies that we are paying will be able to use for the project that they are intended for, the roads, the youth starts, that is for the youth entrepreneurship program. Let us make sure that it is not going to be like the normal program that they have been doing, like the MASLOG, like the other projects, like National Youth Employment Scheme, where they say we are going to have an exit strategy in place, like the NAPCO, but at the end of the day, we can't see any exit strategy, and therefore even the NAPCO now, they say they should continue again because whatever was planned was not successful, because probably there was no actual plan in place to implement anything. So let us come as individuals, and the individuals come together as people and hold the government accountable. And again, when we come together as a group, like for instance, fix the country, if we are to hold the government accountable, government will sit up and realize that I can't take people for granted. They are willing to pay, but I have to use the money for the purpose for which they are paying the money. And when that happens, government will sit up.
But again, looking at some of the monies that we put in some areas, and I'd like for you to look at number 2 on this sheet, for example, Maslog and planning for food and jobs and all that. You realize that the figures there are small. And yet we are paying so much for teacher trainee and nursing trainee allowances. And I ask myself, if we want to do so well in terms of agriculture, and look at how much we intend to spend in 2022 on planning for food and jobs, how serious are we?
Exactly my point. These are the ways I talk about. Because for instance...
And listeners, forgive me, listeners, you can join us now on 03220-83596, 03220-83596. Let's have you join our conversation now. We're talking about Ghanaians. And for those of you who are with us on Facebook, you can see beautiful interchanges, beautiful roads. That is reducing traffic drastically. Some roads are so bad, when you plan on them and you get back home, you have to visit the mechanics and spend so much. So, question is, why are we where we are, even though we are paying taxes? And real life has said that it's so because we haven't held our leaders accountable enough.
You should have shown the Akuetteh road.
So why do we want development yet we are reluctant in paying our taxes? Join us on 03220-83596. Let's hear your thoughts. And also you can also join us, send us voice notes to 055-1111-995. 055-1111-995. Let's speak to George. He's on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you?
George, I am well.
David, you see, paying taxes is not the problem. But the problem is, after we sufferings waiting to pay taxes, the way our leaders live with the money of the taxes is the problem. These taxes that is coming, for me, is good. Because if you look at people who are not paying taxes and are making money, that is not the best. If you go to the construction firm, and if you see at the end of the day, money contractors pay to these laborers, they pay them 80 cedis a day, and they collect their money weekly. And you imagine, at the end of the week, if a laborer will take that much and will not be taxed, but that person will use this mobile money. Sometimes they even pay the money into their mobile money accounts, and they don't pay anything, and they are making huge money. Even if you want to calculate their monies, it is more than your salary a month, and they are paying nothing. So it is good for the, electronic, tax. But the way our leaders don't account for the taxes, that is the problem. We pay money for them, and they are in these big land cruisers. Look, if our president is traveling, look at the amount of money he's using for this luxurious aircraft. That is the problem for us. So we must find people to put our leaders in check for them to account our monies. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And that was George. He called us also to share his thoughts on the conversation. For those of you who are with us on Facebook, how would you feel if you have about 5 or 6 of this in Kumasi or Ashanti region? Greater Kumasi. What we're showing right now on Facebook. How would it be like for you if we have about 5 of these interchanges? And that's how come we're being told that, listen, we need to pay levies. And when we pay the levies, in terms of the e-levy, digital and road infrastructure will be catered for. We need about 1.7 billion for road construction next year. And so if this e-levy can itself give us 6.9 billion, at least we have that amount we're looking for road construction, don't we? Let me speak to Christoph. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, David. How are you, sir?
Well, and good to have you. Let's say very quickly, Christoph.
David, I see this to create more hardship in the sector. And I've realized that there's a lot of weak states in our system. We are not trying to probably the holes that have been treated, we should fix them. So no matter the amount you pay, people will still run away with it. After all, our leaders are thinking like the ordinary Ghanaian because they are not creating anything. They are not being creative. The petrol, they put motors on it. This one too. So they are not able to create something new. I have Ghanaians. And I believe that, Dave, if you go on this way, the whole thing is becoming unbecoming. Look, these training allowances, I've always maintained and said that it is not the best for our nation. But because all the parties have campaigned on it, why will I be Why will I be attending school? You are paying me and you're also feeding me. And when I finish, you have to pay me salary until I die. So what sort of thinking am I really bringing? Because I'm getting everything free. Free in high school, free school feeding. And so even the students are not even able to think and come out with anything because everything now is free. And that is why you don't have money for development. So I think that this e-levy date has come to add to our hardship. It is opportunistic.
Let me ask you. So, Chris, if per this e-levy, you would indeed get very good roads to drive on here in Greater Kumasi, will you be okay or not?
David, it's possible, but the money will not be channeled into that. People will spend the chunk of the money. That's what we are saying. The wastage. People will take the money and use for their own parochial.
So that's the fear. That's the concern. Let me speak to Sledge. Let me see if he has a different thoughts. But you can also give us a call on 03220-83596. This is the Sofaline interchange. An aerial view of the Sofaline interchange is so adorable, so beautiful. Stay with us on Facebook. Join us now on Facebook, LUV 99.5 FM. See this Sofaline interchange. And like I was saying, if we have about 5 of these interchanges around town in Greater Kumasi, how Kumasi be like? Sledge, welcome.
Thank you, David. How are you?
I am well.
David, for the last 5 years, every budget you hear, Sofaline from interchange, Furuku interchange, the car runabout, Fantastic runabout, for the past 5 years, David, tax is good. You need it fine. You are going to pay. But what is the guarantee that Sofaline interchange is going to be completed when I pay the e-levy? The stretch from Sofaline to Obuakwa, we should have been less than 10 minutes. You can spend like 2-3 hours. David, when you were mentioning that you should go to your Facebook wall, you were mentioning Pokiase, Tema House. What did you listen to some one from Kumasi?
Oh, but you heard one. The Sofaline interchange, yes.
David, how many years have you taken now? How many years? Since 2017 date, Sofaline has not been completed. David, you pay the e-levy. Politicians, I'm not limiting it to one party. They will come. A 1 kilometer road, which will cost less, David, they will double it. Simple it, David. And no matter what cut, then we the taxpayers will be paying no more V8. All these levies that you are going to pay, David, they will end up using to buy V8. And no quite David, you don't have any trust in the politicians.
Well, that was the thoughts of a Sledge. And you're asking about Kumasi. Well, we didn't get a match because of time. But we all know Asafu interchange, although some people refer to it as Asafu Bridge. But Asafu interchange is there. 03220-83596. Let me speak to Nana Mponsa. Nana, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm well, Nana. Good to have you, sir.
Yeah, good to have you. Thank you. I want you to help me here. When the government brings a policy, something that we, the citizens, think that it is a burden on us, we cannot bear it. Is there no other? Can't we do anything about it as people? I want to know, help me here. Can't we do anything?
In terms of, sir? In terms of?
Like we cannot do it. We don't want to do it. We want to do it. Can't we do anything as a people?
As individuals to do, like construct roads or something? Is that what you're asking?
No, I mean that when they are bringing taxes, and that we feel that it's a burden, is too much burden on us. We have no jobs.
Okay.
The little that you have, you are taking it from us. And when you take this money, we don't see what you do with the money. That's what I want to know.
Okay, so that is why we have an MP. That's why we have MPs. The MPs are supposed to champion our case for us in Parliament. And if you listen,
not doing it. Can't we do anything?
That is why, for example, the Face a Country movement also wants to demonstrate. We have had several demonstrations. Question is, what has it really solved? We had the
demonstration isn't working. Can't we do anything? I think the youth of this country, we are too weak. We are too weak. We are over 20 million. We sit down for these old men who are less than 1,000 to take advantage of us. I think it's about time we just put away with this speak to your MP, peaceful demonstration, and we have to take action against these people. They are taking us for granted.
Well, those are the thoughts of Nana Ponce, and I wouldn't want to ask Action Bang. Now, thanks for calling us, Nana Ponce. You can also call us on 03220-83596. We're talking about Ghanaians. We always say we want roads, we want this, we want that. It takes money to do all these things. Yet when we say we want them and we're being levied or taxed, we raise concerns. Question is why? Steve Wonder, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I am well, Stephen.
Let me say good morning to your channel listeners. I would also like to say good morning to lawyer Evans Mankwa. Ofa, Akuetteh Honoma Mumayanka. Let's call a spade, but not a big spoon. There is nobody on earth can tell you that it is not tax that they use to develop the country, but we use it according to, but not according for. Yawaha, I buy what Bobo share over 200 billion. Edia Guesono. Young Bisa say, I dare na buy no day. Na sebe mono kodi dia maya yata bia makaka ho. Wo wa taxi ya ebe bi samrewi. One Timaya project bako. Osaba baje ya mobile money. We know that we tax revenue, but we don't tax capital. But abani say wababa DJ ya sika kakrana nipano wafano bebi a uko sofa no wanya. Odo kwa to boma money so no one kwa te 70%.
Steve Wonder, so when this money is, put together as revenue and is used for the roads or is given to somebody to help start a business, wouldn't you be happy about it?
Okay. After never see obi ho na de development ana. After never see obi ho. Montela make say Ghana mo ma yaninte. Na obi ni ho ba ka say bia ya taxa enye. But interchange na mo dey to social media say no. Ayi before what started your friends say? So for life. What the mobile money tax and that way. Your first Professor Miss, I see as a quiet change. Mobile money tax in all the year. Well, John Dramana Mama, I will complete by say, your first say, so for line change. Everyone, Modia took a year. Mobile money tax. Nanado, I was starting Tamale interchange, but in me, what Bobuchan over 200 billion. Besides, what you mean? I don't have a problem, no.
I hear you. That was Stevie Wonder there. 0322083596. You've sent us your voice notes. Hold on tight. We shall be sharing those voice notes with the rest of the world, including yourself in a bit. Stay with us. But you can send us more voice notes. The number to send it to 05511119995. Your messages on Facebook will also be read shortly. Political Thinker, good morning.
Good morning. That's Paman David Akuetteh. Yeah. I think the e-levy is not a bad thing like we usually say. But how can we make sure that this money is accountable to we, the citizens? Because you cannot pay, tax where tax cannot be accounted for you to see that this tax that I'm contributing. It has accumulated to this amount, and this is what they use it for. Where is our RTI bill? Because we the citizens are not serious. The RTI bill that they pretend that they are passed. So you, the journalists, can you have access to every information that you want from our ministries? So. They faced the country people. Last time they were addressing their petition to the government, and I heard about their message, and I cried. I say, those people, if they want to demonstrate, they have to sit down and know what they are going to send to the government. Not just that doesn't send anything, because politicians, they are wise, they know everything. So if you are sending your message to them, know exactly what you are doing. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, and bye-bye to you too. Nana Kweku, welcome.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Okay. I'm going to tackle a whole lot of issues. One, since my infancy, I've always been hearing this, widen the tax net, widen the tax net. And you journalists, you yourself, when people make that statement, you don't ask them the question, no, look, widen the tax net, what it means? What some of things that are you yourself that you're saying, widen the tax net? Are you professing? No. They just come, widen the tax net. So they don't give any solutions. And we all keep saying, widen the tax net. Now, this tax that much as is too high, 1.75% might be too high. But let's ask ourselves, we need to rope everybody to pay in. And then about the face the country people, you see, there are a lot of people that come in, they try to set up some non-political thing, and then we allow people to be following them. They end up going through some direction that is more or less like seeking the political interest of one political party. Face the country. When Sosu was supposed to go to court, and decided we wouldn't go. I was expecting the face the country people that you wanted all of us to look, the youth to follow you, that we should face the country. Each and every one, no one is above the law. He should go to court. No, they were mute. Come this thing, they want to come out. How do you expect me, a non-political person, to come and follow you? And then another issue. There was one that said, these people, masons and carpenters and everything, picking money. No one is paying taxes. People, even taxi drivers, yes, they get it, but at the end of the month, salaries that are being paid, coconut seller, go to, what do you call it, Takwade, buys 20 pesos coconut, come and sell it around 5 cities in Kumasi, and they wouldn't pay a single tax. Why are we doing this to ourselves? We want investment or things to be done for us. And then the one in your studio, much as you were saying the Eastern Regional Roads, please, give him the opportunity to be a minister of one wood. And wouldn't he see the constituency that he is from? And please, those people living in the Eastern region, are they not part of Ghana? They are Ghanaians. But please, if you want us to follow you, no, not let us just compare that. Look, this he has done this year. Why not here? Why not here? But let's give cogent issues. Appeal the road needs to be fixed. But we shouldn't compare it that look.
Thank you very much. All right, Nana Kweku joined us as well on the phone lines, and I've heard Professor Ebo Texin say, for example, that we're always falling on the hanging fruits and that we should look for other ways, use the digitization to even widen or expand the tax net. Ali is on the line. Good morning, Ali.
Good morning, boss.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, I'm from Alaba.
Okay.
Yeah, boss. You see, it's not about paying the tax. It's a problem for Ghanaians. Even the way the government is spending on it, that's the problem now people are facing. You see, you pay your tax. The way the government is spending is too much. You see, the last time I hear, it's like the president is using a jet for some place. Meanwhile, to Ghana too, we have our jet here. So you come to tell Ghanaians that you are going to save our money for us. So if you are going to say you are going to save our money for us, why are you using expensive life for Ghanaians? Now you are doing everything you are doing it against the poor people. Meanwhile, you were saying that you are coming for the poor. So you should cut down your expenditure. I think when they do that, Ghana will listen to them.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And our final caller is on now. Abraham, good morning and welcome, Abraham.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You see, there are a lot of taxes government is having in its book as a law, and he is not taking it. People are mentioning coconut segments. Why are we always talking about the poor? There is somebody making 1 billion, 2 billion in a year in this country, building. They have a nice building in this country. They are not paying a penny. I'm a teacher. I have rented a place, 3,000 for a year. The person is not paying any tax on that 3,000, but mine 28 million as a gross salary. Government is taking 450 cedis every month, but I pay the rent 3,000, and government is not paying, taking a peso on that money. People are using cars here. when they brought it and their people, their men, their MPP men are saying their business, they are killing their business, quickly they struck that any tax that will go to the rich, that will target the rich in this country, it is killed. Property tax, government is not taking it. My friend was mentioning carpenters and masons. I have a friend who is taking more than I do because I'm a teacher, because he's an architect. All money that he's taking at the end of the year, he is not being taxed. So how can't we go individually and tax those people, and rather than 1.75? And government is saying if I withdraw my money from GCB to my mobile money, he is taking 1.7. Then we are all going to choke at the bank.
I hear you, Brian, but I'm told that is not it. I mean, if you transfer money from your accounts, your bank accounts to your Momo wallet, you will not pay. That's what we hear.
It's not true.
And well, like I said, more clarity ought to be brought to us, but that's what has been said. At this point in time, we'll be sharing your voice notes with you, beginning with this one.
Good morning, David. My name is Michael. Taxes are good, but when the taxes are not used for what they are intended for, then the citizens tend to grumble. That is the more reason why Ghanaians are grumbling over these taxes imposed by the government. Most of the time, the big question is, are these taxes used for what it is intended for? Good morning.
Indeed, good morning to you too, sir. And that's what we are all asking. Are the taxes used for what the intended purposes? If they are, I'm sure that Ghanaians will not be complaining the way some do. Let's listen to this next one.
Good morning, Dave. My name is Kobna from Santase. I think as Ghanaians, we must start changing our mindset and narratives towards development and therefore towards taxation. This Akuetteh government does not do normal things. See, free education has never been talked about by even developed countries and third world countries. You must give something away to get something bigger. Akuetteh believes in dreaming big and transforming nations. And you don't do that with low taxation. Only 2 million Ghanaians pay formally for taxes. Apart from that, we get taxes from the ports and transportation. People, can you imagine drivers are asking that we scrap all the taxes on transportation? Meanwhile, fuel that is used is not from Ghana. Even those who are mining fuel from here export them and then we go and bring them in. If we do not tax fuel, how do we get money for development? If we do not tax imports, how do we get money for development? Masons, some drivers, some hairdressers, those doing informal sector jobs.
Yes, indeed, and a lot of people have raised concerns and have said this morning that there are many people who have also raised the same issue, like Professor Botek saying, Professor Bob King, they are all saying that we need to widen the tax net. We should be able to find ways and means, of getting these people in the informal sector in. If you go to magazine, for example, I'm told there are many people who are not paying taxes as well. Next on the voice note, who do we have there?
Hello, good morning, and I'm happy to be on your program. I'm Texan, Bukrom Estate. Well, the reason why we complain about these taxes are the fact that, number one, the politicians have taken us for granted. They tell you they will do ABC with the taxes, and before you realize, nothing is done about it. Number two, their extravagant lifestyle is also an indication that when they take the money, they use it for their personal purposes and not what they intended for. Thank you.
Well, thank you also for sending us your voice note. Which one is next, please?
Good morning, Mr. Dave. It's not like we are against development in Ghana, but we don't trust our leaders again. Like, we don't trust them again with our money. You see, we've been paying tax, but there's no development going on in this place or in this country. So just imagine, we are just adding up for them to amass what? They are not doing anything for us. We the youth, we are suffering. There's no work, insecurity, education is somehow, I don't know how to even describe the education system. Everything is not working. Like, everything is not working. And we can't again like trust them with our money. That's the reason why we are kicking against this levy. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much as well. Let's try and pick, share one more voice note. At least let's share one more voice note. And from tomorrow, please, when you send in us a voice note, let it not go beyond a minute. Let's make it from 30, 40, 45 seconds. It'll be fine. Your message can still, be carried across. The final one is here.
Yeah, good morning, David. My name is Daniel from GOG Designs, Genius. David, yeah, we all long to have great development going on in this country. But the reason why we hate to pay taxes to them is that from years back we have seen them, how they squander the taxes that they take. Even when they go outside to borrow in the name of a project, they come and they refuse to complete the project, even though the borrowing that they went to take has been given to them in full. And so if they want us to pay taxes to them, they should cut down their huge salaries and that kind of attitude of giving job to the boys. Yes, because they create some avenues, institutions, board, and put their people on them just to pay them because they belong to their party. They have worked for their party.
All right, so this is where we will end the voice notes. Let's share with our listeners a few messages from Facebook as well.
This is coming from James Pegbein. He says the taxes are used to develop areas for the rich. In Accra, day in and day out, you see the roads of East Legon being overlaid, but part of these funds can be used to just surface dress some roads in other parts of the country. This is from Max Kwame. He says go back in history and check what percentage of taxes are collected in Kumasi compared with Accra. From Prince Owusu, he says, Dave, the country is in a mess and we have to admit that. Everyone is professing that the system is not working, but have we even think of changing the narrative? Less than 10% of the country's population is recognized as taxpayers as against the 42.8% adult population. Kasayan Frama, let's show working. From Citizen Kwesi, he says the taxes are used for different purpose, not for development, using for private jets and unnecessary things. And Maskwame comes in again, says the comment is not fair. How can you say the road minister has used all the money to construct roads in his constituency? All right, I don't know which one. This is from Kingsley Chigos. He said, including the addition of tax in through the mobile money is not bad, but the price is just too high. From Morgan, he says, Uncle Dave, look, I personally have lost total trust and hope in this has lost trust and hope in this current government, for there are many inconsistencies and many unexplained luxurious lifestyles these leaders display. Therefore, they don't deserve any penny from anyone as tax.
Thank you very much, Leo Stanley, and of course, Unilever Samoa and all the social media team. To all of you who sent us messages and the voice notes, we really appreciate you. And we'll meet again later this afternoon for the diary. But Nula, let me give you some 30 seconds.
Yes, you see, I made a comment which people like political thinker did not understand. What I meant was the Minister for Roads said we are sleeping when they are doing roads, and that we should wake up and catch up with them. And until I went to his constituency, I did not understand what he meant, because my place in Akuetteh, the road is not good. But when I went to his constituency, they've done all the roads there. So if you hear something maybe in the middle, get to know where the person is coming from.
Okay. Thanks very much, my brother, for joining us. And of course, we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 for more on the Super Morning Show. I told you we'll be talking about energy and plus a few other things on the Super Morning Show. Please stay with us.